Hello, Lickitung video. Today we're going to take a look at the most likely, most expensive team that you can run in the Open Great League. I play this team basically every time when I really want to get some rating because this team basically never fails me. Like, I would be able to easily legend with this team again right now. I played this team for 2.5 sets and I went up so high. It's just so difficult to beat it. Unless you're really hardballed, there's nothing really you can do here because this thing is just too bulky. Bastion is a Pokemon that has usually not a lot of play recently. Like, I don't really see a lot of people run Bastion anymore. But this Pokemon is still so strong, especially if you combine it with the XL Medicham, the XL Lickitung. The entire team is so expensive, but it's just still so worth it. I went up over 100 points in 2.5 sets with this team, and it just worked so well. Honestly, there is not a lot that a lot of people can do here against me. They are literally just completely getting wrecked. Some tricky stuff for this team is Nidoqueen, for example. Nidoqueen is a little bit tricky to deal with it. You usually stay in for a little bit with your Medicham, try to get a shield with the Ice Punch, and then maybe swap out into your Lickitung later on. But Nidoqueen kind of went missing, I feel like. I have no idea why people are not running Nidoqueen anymore. I actually have no idea, but feels like kind of the Nidoqueen got a little bit less common, which is good for this team. Against other Medicham, you usually find them in the lead, or you get them out with your say swap anyway of Lickitung. Lickitung against Medicham is a neutral matchup. Medicham against Medicham is of course also a neutral matchup. If you face a Medicham lead mirror, which you're going to see in this video definitely, because I face at least like 3 of them I think, you kinda have to try to shield the first moves because they usually just go straight for Psychic and don't bait you. And you hopefully will be able to somehow win the lead matchup there, or at least get it close enough that your Lickitung can finish up the job. We see here one opponent with a Swampert and also a Skarmory. Of course, we're getting this Swampert already low with our Medicham here. And the Skarmory will not have the best time against the Pokemon that we have in the back, which is going to be, of course, the Bastion. As Bastion is a hard wall to a ton of Pokemon in the current meta. And it's insane how good this Pokemon can be if you can align it correctly. But yeah, alignment is the most important thing for the Bastion. Having the say-swap of Lickitung, alignment is a lot of times pretty easily possible, to be honest. Here, for example, we see the Medicham mirror lead. We see some lag, which is not as good, but we just go straight to the Psychic as well. Sometimes I go for Psychic, sometimes I go for the Ice Punch to get the advantage here. We will see now that I'm going to go for the bait. I'm going to shield up their move again because it's going to be another Psychic. I want to keep this thing alive. And we will see that this Ice Punch will get the shield from the opponent. We can hit a Psychic, hopefully. But yeah, this Psychic will not knock them out, I think. I think they still survive. And we will be able to swap into our Lickitung. The damage that they're going to output later on with their Medicham against my Bastion, I don't really care too much about it anymore because they're low enough that I can farm them down. The Psychic doesn't do damage, so we should be okay here, hopefully. But we see a Lickitung from the opponent coming in here. And we basically have the same team so far. Maybe they have the same team at the end as well. But we have to see here. Other Pokemon that you can use on this team, by the way, for the Pokemon in the back if you don't have an XL Bastion, is Registeel or Galarian Stunfisk. There is a point that Galarian Stunfisk might be better, but I just like the craziness of the bulk of the Bastion, to be honest, because, yeah, my opponent has a Registeel in the back, which is going to make this a little bit tough, because we, of course, have our Bastion in the back, which doesn't really like to face this Registeel, and Registeel wins against it. So, let's see what we can do here. We go ahead and go into our Medicham. We can try to get this thing lower. We might have actually went into our Bastion instead here, by the way, and then swapped out there, but it's hopefully still fine. Let's see, they can go for one Zapkin here. I will be able to try to farm them down here, and they just barely get to the move with a 1 HP, which is super unlucky. It could have been either way. And sadly, we will not get knocked out by the Psychic, but one more counter is enough, and they basically survived 2 times with 1 HP to win the game here, even though I basically got hardwalled anyway at the end, because like the Registeel, of course, would have been a little bit of an issue with my backline. It's basically the same lead and same say-swap as me, but a better Pokemon in the back compared to my Pokemon in the back in the match there. But we will see another Medicham in the lead. Medicham, here I went for the bait first and now go for the Psychic, which allows me to let this move go through. If they go for another Psychic, so be it. I will be able to have a better time here now, but this could be again the same team that I had just now, which would be a little bit tricky. I should have stopped out earlier out of my Medicham because this would have allowed me to get some more, like have some more health left. And if they have a Bastion themselves in the back, I kind of want to get the counter damage through, so I make another mistake here, I think, as well, as we will see that I go for the Stone Edge here, I can farm them down. But as soon as they go into the Medicham, I'm going to make a mistake here by... No, never mind. I'm actually going to go for the charge move. Never mind then. I will be able to now get the final shield by them. I can go for one Ice Punch and it should be okay. This Ice Punch will be able to put them into range where I can farm them down. They only have the Lickitung in the back and also their own Bastion now. But we have a shield advantage. We have still 2 Pokemon left, but of course, as you saw the matchup before already, Lickitung against Bastion is a little bit of a trickier one, as this one will come down to the wire. We do some nice damage with the Lick damage actually over time. Bastion is having a decent HP stat, but also not the craziest. We tried to catch the move, didn't work out, but we were able to at least go into our own Bastion. Hopefully still get to 1 Flamethrower here. They go for their Flamethrower. We get to our Flamethrower, but they're going to be able to get some extra energy now, which is going to make this game definitely come down to the wire. We will see that we can go for 1 Power Whip now, which is going to do some pretty decent damage against them. It's at least neutral. We can hit them for neutral, and I think this is in range for 1 Body Slam, which should be pretty easily able for me to get there, but they're actually going to forfeit there. Next opponent, we're going to see Medicham against Azumarill. What do you do against Azumarill? You have basically a double weakness against it with the Elite and with a Pokemon in the back, where maybe a Registeel would be a little bit better as well. We can go for 1 Psychic because we're going to get the shield here anyway, and we're going to try to catch the move on our Lickitung. Even the Bastion against the Azumarill matchup is pretty decent for the Bastion, especially as most Azumarill are running only Play Rough and Ice Beam currently. Which means we're going to be able to just go ahead and go for the moves with our Bastion later on if they want to keep this thing alive. Otherwise, we have our Lickitung, which I thought of shielding this, but I thought, okay, maybe I'm just going to get more energy with my Medicham. I expect them to have double Ghost in the back, but let's see what they actually have. They have the Altarian, they have the Stunfisk here. And now I really regret not going for Switch Advantage, because Switch Advantage would have basically allowed me to hardwall my opponent here. But like this, there is nothing really I can do here. We're going to lose this game. They still have their full HP Altaria in the back. We have our, what's it called, our Medicham here. They go for 1 Rock Slide, which, yeah, I think I could have called. I think it was only 1 fast move there. I thought it was 2. But, yeah, this Ice Punch is not going to knock them out. They're going to shield up anyway. I can go for my shield. They go for an Earthquake and they go into their Altaria. And we can go for 1 Ice Punch. Let's see how much it's going to do here. It's going to do more than half of its health, and we can go for another one, which means we're actually still going to be able to win this game there, even though we basically got hardwalled at the end there from the last 2 Pokemon. Just the coverage of Medicham is way too good, to be honest, for this current meta here. We will see the Ice Punch coming through. Ice Punch will do some damage here. Of course, we have better matchups in the back, so what I usually do for my Medicham with this, the Altaria matchup, is I go for 1 Ice Punch, I go for 1 extra counter, and then swap out into my Lickitung trying to catch the incoming move. But we will get greeted here by this Registeel, which is fine for us. We can go for some Body Slams to get this thing out of the way for our Bastion in the back, which might be better for us. As we see that they're going to go ahead and go for 1 Focus Burst, we can go for 1 Body Slam again. And this matchup is actually not as bad for the Lickitung, as you can see here. And I'm pretty sure that I can realign just licking them all the way down. Let's see if we can actually do it. We can do it with the 1 HP in the Dream. We will be able to go for 1 more Body Slam, and we see the Venusaur coming in there in the back, which means we can realign. And I'm going to go into my Medicham now. They go for their charge move here. I will survive it with Medicham. I can swap out into my Bastion, and I can just farm them all the way down for the entire game. Bastion itself is like such a strong Pokemon. And it's just like, it's basically like a cheat code in neutral matchups. Like, look at this. They do basically no damage with their fast move, even though it's neutral. Frenzy Plant is one of the strongest charge moves in the game and does basically nothing against you, even though it's also neutral. We can still shield up 1 move, and we can just farm them all the way down. There's nothing that they can do. They can go for 1 more move, but like, where does it help them? They're going to die with their both shields there. And we just farm them all the way down. Next opponent, we're going to have a Lickitung in the lead. We're going to see a Swampert coming in. Swampert coming in is, of course, definitely decent for me. I'm going to try to get this thing a little bit lower so my Lickitung has a better matchup later on. I would swap into my Lickitung, I think, later on, but I have to see. They're going to no shield here, which is fine for me. Their Lickitung is a really decent matchup for my entire team, actually, and I can farm them down now. And we will see the most likely the Lickitung coming back in. Yeah, now it's going to be the lick down of the Century. They most likely have nothing weak to fighting in the back anymore because they already have something in the lead here. But I don't know what they could have actually in the back there. They most likely have something where the Swampert also helps? I'm not sure actually. We're going to save one move. We see actually the Sableye there. This is fine for me. Sableye plus the Lickitung is one of the most common combinations currently because it's just so neutral against nearly everything currently. And we will see that we get the shield from the opponent and we will be able to go for one more Ice Punch, which will definitely get another shield here. And now look at my Lickitung here. We can go for one more charge move and we still have our Bastion in the back, which would be able to also just completely destroy the opponent on its own without a shield and anything, as they're going to forfeit now, as this Bastion would have easily just hardwalled the opponent. Next game, we're going to see Empoleon in the lead. And we see a Frostlass coming in, and I misplay this hard. I should have went into my Bastion earlier, I think. And I don't know how I want to still win this, because I'm pretty sure they're going to have a, what's it called, the other Charm user on the back, the Alone Ninetales. That's a pretty decent team, to be honest. Empoleon and Double Ice looks like a very fun team currently. Even though, of course, Double Ice would be weak to fighting, having a Ghost type and a Fairy type in the back is pretty damn nice. But they can just farm us down here, fine for us. We see the Ninetales coming in, we can go for one Psychic, trying to get the shield or getting the debuff here maybe as well. But no, we're just going to get the shield. We can go to a Lickitung, which will have a decent-ish matchup, especially as we can go for some Body Slams, which get this thing low. And as soon as we're gonna get this low enough that we can farm it down even with counter, we should be fine here. They have so much energy on their Empoleon that I don't really want to take any shields here. They're going to go for one Weather Ball. They try to farm us down now, which works out for them. I'm going to let this happen, and I'm also going to let this move go through here, as the Weather Ball doesn't do as much damage. We see the Empoleon coming in. I can shield this move up, and I will be able to now just farm them all the way down and win this game pretty easily, as a Medicham will get to another Ice Punch now as well against the incoming Ninetales, and this will win us the game. Good game to my opponent here. Trickier to play. I really appreciate the team, a very fun team to play against. We see Swampert against us. Swampert is decent for us in the lead, especially as they usually have either a Drapion or the Sableye as a safe swap here. In this case, I'm going to go into my Bastion. Like, I know that they're most likely going to have a Skarmory in the back, but actually Skarmory loses against the Lickitung as well, so we should be fine. They're going to get the defense drop there, which is okay as well. We can go for one Stone Edge here, trying to knock that out. They survive with 1 HP and get to another move, which is all fine for me. They still have to throw their Swampert, and we should be okay-ish, hopefully. We see the Swampert coming back in. We cannot go for another charge move. We can let it go, though. And we will most likely get greeted by the incoming Skarmory afterwards. We will not shield this move up, as we see the Skarmory coming in now. They catch the Ice Punch. Fine for us, as we can now go ahead, go into our Lickitung, and the lick damage you see it already. It's just gonna put this thing so fast, so much down. Like, it's crazy how much damage a lick going to do here, which is, I don't know. Lick is kind of busted sometimes. It's not even the strongest move if you look at the stats, but just having one-turn moves in the Great League seem to be one of the best things that you can have, as we see that we can go for another Body Slam, get this thing low. They can go for another charge move, but we can just keep the shields for the incoming Swampert, which now doesn't really want to face either of my Pokemon, I think. We can go for a Body Slam, we can swap out again. We can also go for Ice Punches if I want to KO them, but we can just farm them all the way down, and we have a pretty decent time here. Ice Punch going to get shielded here anyway, but the opponent has no play at all. We have a CMP time now, we have a shield now, and we will be able to win this game. And again, this team is just too broken. It's just literally, it's just a cheat code. It's just literally just a cheat code. It's just so bulky, it's just so strong. Next opponent, we're going to see Diggersby in the lead here. Good lead for me, but we get faced immediately by this Shadow Grand Ball. Shadow Grand Ball will get to that charge move at the same time as I would get to my Stone Edge, so I'm going to do, shield this move up here and just farm them all the way down. I know against Diggersby it's a little bit tricky, but yeah. I already basically know at this point of time that they're going to be another Charm user in back. At this point, I just don't know which Charm user. There would be the option for the Alone Ninetales, of course, or Sylveon, but it might also be something else. We have to see. We will see that they go for an Earthquake here. We will go into our fighter, and we see a Wigglytuff coming in here. And at this point of time, it's basically over. Wigglytuff is a core breaker for the Lickitung and also for the Medicham, so there is nothing that I can really do here which helps me out, because this Wigglytuff just going to destroy me. They go for one Ice Beam here, and now we have a fighter against a Wigglytuff. Both have one shield. Like, what is supposed to happen here? We can go for one move, going to be the Ice Punch. and we will be able to actually reach another one. We still have some HP left, and we just only have to deal with this Diggersby. And we can reach another Ice Punch. Is this enough to KO them already? Let's see. It is not enough, but one more counter is they throw their charge move, and we will be able to win this game against Double Charm at the end of the day as well, even though Wigglytuff is a hard wall. So this team is super broken. It's way too strong in my opinion. It's just, yeah, it's just a cheat code. It's super expensive though, so like it's most people will not be able to play it, but if you can play it, I can recommend it to you. It's still super strong. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.